Expedition Protocol probably states that if you're going to go off and save the world, you're required to pack your emergency baguette. I cannot stop thinking about Clair Obscur Expedition 33. From top to bottom, this is a 10 out of 10 game. Story, banger. The graphics, mind-blowing. The locations, beautiful and breathtaking. The open world map, traversing the world, exploring. I just can't get enough of it. And the combat, it just looks so dang cool. But the one thing that I can't stop thinking about are these costumes. French developer Sandfall Interactive clearly has a sense of humor. Despite the game being a very serious story full of heartfelt moments and a little bit of humor, they put in the most stereotypical French outfits I've ever seen in a video game. Red beret? Check. Horizontal black and white striped shirt? Check. And to top it all off, the one big kicker, a baguette on your back. You're telling me that if you were a monster in this world and this trio walked up on you and wanted to throw hands, you wouldn't be like, nah, I'm good. I'm fine. It's okay. You take what you want. Take the loot. Take my XP. And the funny thing is, to get these costumes, you have to beat a mime. On top of the baguette on your back, there's a kitchen in a place called the Manor, where I found all sorts of different things like ham on a shelf, sausage hanging around, a huge leg of beef, a bunch of other different things too. So, to celebrate the success of Expedition 33, we're going to make a baguette from scratch. On that, you can put whatever you want, but today we're going to put on some fancy butter and some ham, which is called a jambon beurre, which I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that very badly, but over in France, it's a very popular sandwich. And we're also going to be doing something called a brie and butter sandwich, which I've never had before, but I hear is amazing. So let's go make baguettes from Expedition 33. Let's start by making our Poolish, which is a great way to improve the baguette's texture, crumb structure, and flavor, and is also just fun to say. The Poolish is made 18 to 24 hours before by combining 120 grams of bread flour, 113 grams of room temp water, and a pinch of yeast. Mix it all until it's combined and nice and sticky, and let it sit overnight in an airtight container. The next day it'll have grown into a wonderful gooey mess. In a large bowl, add in 420 grams of bread flour, 1.5 grams of instant yeast, all of the Poolish, 250 grams of warm water, and 2 teaspoons of salt. Mix it all to combine with a soft spatula or wooden spoon until you have a very sticky dough, anywhere from about 3 to 5 minutes. Eventually, you're going to need to use your hands during this time. From there, if kneading by hand, turn out the dough onto a slightly oiled work surface and begin mixing and kneading the dough until you have something that can retain its shape and is smoother, but still sticky. To get the results you see here, I had to knead for almost 20 minutes. It's going to be very sticky, but just keep at it, it'll come together. Set aside in a bowl and cover to let rest for 30 to 45 minutes. Now it's time for some strength building, which is going to help our gluten develop and give us a better rise and lighter crumb. After you let it rest, uncover and gently pull the dough away from the sides of the bowl. Then, starting on one side, get your hand almost under halfway of the dough and pull up and away. Lay that pull across the dough. Repeat this process 3 or 4 more times and lift the dough up and flip over so the seams are down that we just made. Cover and let rest for another 30 to 45 minutes. After the second rest, we're going to repeat that strength building process. And then, same thing, cover and let the dough and rest for 45 minutes to an hour. And would you look at our little dough boy now, all grown up, and he looks a little bit like Esquier. Let's turn that big boy out onto a slightly floured work surface and divide into 3 equal parts. Take one of the parts and divide again because, surprise, we're going to cook these baguettes with 2 different methods. But first, let's shape these balls by tucking the edges under and pinching slightly. From there, place the ball seam side down and shape the dough by cupping your hands under the sides and rotating. You should get a nice, taut ball. Cover with a light kitchen towel to proof for 30 minutes and up to an hour. Time to roll out the dough, which has become very workable, springy, and smooth. Gently using your fingers, push out the dough to push out excess gases, and when you basically have a bread pancake, begin folding the edge furthest from you towards you in small increments, sealing the edges as you go along. You'll eventually have a small cylinder, and working with the seam side down, begin rolling out the dough from the center to the edges with your hands. With the bigger dough, we're looking for anywhere from 12 to 15 inches, and the smaller ones 6 to 8 inches. It'll depend largely on your dough. Cover to proof one last time for another 30 to 45 minutes. Near the end of this proofing time, preheat your oven to 450 degrees with an upside down baking sheet in the middle rack. Additionally, place a cast iron pan on the bottom of your oven. Begin boiling your 2 cups of water. At the end of proofing, our dough is finally ready to bake. Score the dough with a sharper knife than I used, which will allow for more spring when the bread bakes. Lightly flour your baking sheet or stone and place your baguettes on top. Put your boiling water in the cast iron and quickly shut the oven door, trapping the steam. We'll bake these for anywhere from 18 to 25 minutes. Check your bread at the 10-minute mark and make an assessment, and check back again at the 15-minute mark. You're looking for a deep golden color on the bread, signifying that they're done. These bigger baguettes took about 20 minutes or so. Pull from the oven and let rest on a wired rack. Next up is the cast iron method, which will act as a fancy bread pan. Safely remove your cast iron and place the lid in the oven for a few minutes while we prep. Make sure there is no water left inside of the cast iron. Dust the inside with flour, place your smaller baguettes in the cast iron, and then cover with the lid. Place it in the oven for 10 minutes and then remove the lid. The dough should have noticeably risen. I pulled these at around the 18-minute mark and I let them cool on the wire rack. And honestly, I gotta say, these turned out great. Just listen to the sound as I cut into it. And look at the crumb structure. Nice, soft, airy. These are gonna make some great sandwiches. All you gotta do is take some room temp butter, spread it across your bread, add your ham, and there you go, a ham and butter sandwich. Also, don't forget your brie and butter sandwich, which was also very, very delicious. And that is how you make baguettes from Expedition 33.